Hello, Dominic.
I'm very good. How you doing?
Mate, I'm very good. I'm interested because technically, Dominic, you are now Robert Downey Jr.'s father.
I know, it's very odd. I can't quite get my head around that, but yes.
Surely you must be able to use this to your advantage in some
I don't know
way.
how. No, it doesn't help on any level. What do you mean if I'm out of an evening and I say I'm Robert Downey Jr.'s father? It would just worry people. But I quite like it. I'm very happy. I'm happy to be connected in any way with his fantastic acting talent.
What was your favourite thing about I guess the look and feel of Howard Stark's machinery?
Well, what I loved, and I think it was totally inspired by the fact that Joe, our director, came from that world of invention and set design. It was very specific, and I think the idea behind it was it needed to look how we perceived the future in that era. It couldn't be too futuristic, but it was and what really helped was the fact that it wasn't all green screen. I think people often are under the misconception that we're just standing in a green box pretending that we're working with various bits of machinery or just sitting in a chair making it look as though we're flying a plane. The truth is actually this was all pretty much built, so to actually feel it and be a part of it and see it helped tremendously. You were every day in awe of it, the magnitude of it, and how much thought had gone into it. And it said a lot about the man himself, I suppose, this incredible entrepreneur who was coming up with all these very great ideas, which at the time would have just been mind-blowing. And I love all that. I love to think how far aviation has come in such a short space of time, from taking off of the first plane to a plane that travels the speed of a bullet, that we have actually done, and that's not fantastical. So it gives some idea. This playboy, fun-loving ladies' man is actually also an incredible mathematician and a genius. So having that, being a part amongst that, was really very inspiring.
July 29 is a big day for you.
It is. It is a big day.
Yeah.
Yeah. When is that? In 7 weeks' time?
Yeah. It's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I know. What's going to happen?
Well, you've got 2 films coming out.
Yeah, I know. That is quite frightening. I've never had that. Yeah, one in which I'm playing a sadistical, killing son of Saddam Hussein and his body double, and then I don't know. You can never know. It's frightening, but one has no control over it. I'm intrigued to see how people respond to that film.
If you could send a message back to the 18-year-old version of you as an actor, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, how would I certainly, I was just hoping for a couple of lines in various, small TV shows or just commercials. So the fact that I'm part of Captain America would have been, I don't know, how would I have felt about that as an 18-year-old? Well, it is like being a kid. You would go to work one day and you're flying a plane, and you're inventing a serum to inject into a skinny bloke to make, and that's what you do as a kid. They're the worlds that you live in. They're the inventions that you make with your friends. Let's pretend we're doing this, and suddenly you're doing it for real. You don't really know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm having a very nice time.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. Is it easier to make films about killing Nazis than it is about maybe trying to deal with all kinds of weird fundamentalism that is challenging the world right now?
I think these films, they can bring up political ideas and concepts and what we feel, but you kind of, in a way, certainly The Devil's Double, we stayed away from that because we didn't want it to be an accurate historical, biographical, detailed account of those events. So therefore you have dramatic license. As with it's a comic book, so you can talk about it in that way if you want to. But yeah, and they're all different. You can get hung up and worried about those issues. Why the Stark Industries itself is creating. What's it creating? Was it there to create weapons? No, it was creating this to protect and to save and to help. But they're very, very different. The idea of how different it was from shooting The Devil's Double, which was very small and and playing two parts in it and feeling you're very much at the centre of the creativity of it and the ability to believe that you had a say and that you could change how it was being shot or how you thought this character should be, because you're completely inhabiting it. When you're doing such a vast scale movie as the Marvel Comics, you'd be where you could not be there for 3 weeks at the beginning of shooting, and then you'd be there to come on and suddenly start throwing your weight around and deciding how you think things should be shot. You'd be hated within seconds. So you have to be quite careful, but they're all very different, and that takes another. That again in itself is in a way harder to suddenly come on board something and believe strongly in what you've already created and your ideas behind the character of Howard Stark, and suddenly you're showing it to people, and you're on a set in a massive arena, and it can be very nerve-wracking, and you have to just, I suppose, believe if you don't like it, you don't like it, but this is what I've got and this is what I'm doing. But ultimately it's a lot of fun.